thank the organizers and Honorable Kartikeya Sharmaji and his team for inviting me. Just a month ago, at this very Bharat Mandapam, the AI Impact Summit was held under the inspiring theme Sarvajana Hitaya, Sarvajana Sukhaya, welfare for all, happiness for all. It was a remarkable moment to see India host an international gathering around such a noble vision, using technology for the welfare and happiness of humanity. As someone who studied in India and spent many formative years here, and as a citizen of Nepal, India's closest neighbor, I feel a deep sense of pride and optimism seeing this stride. The topic I have been asked to speak about today, democracy in the age of AI, digital governance and the youth, is not only complex, but extremely relevant. I must admit that the word youth in the title particularly intrigued me. The inner youth of a 71-year-old man. When I reflect on my own youth, I often feel that I have lived in two different civilizations. When I was a young boy in Nepal, our village had no electricity. There were no telephones, no television, and very limited access to newspapers. The primary source of information and my connection to the wider world was the radio. I still remember the day my school examination results were announced. I heard my name and score on the radio, informing that I had topped national board examination in 1970. That was how information reached us, one shared voice, one shared moment, and one shared reality. At that time, I didn't realize that I was experiencing something fundamentally democratic, a shared information commons. Everyone heard the same facts at the same time. Reality was not personalized. Today's young people live in a completely different information environment. They don't hear one shared voice. They hear billions of personalized voices shaped by algorithms. Information is curated, filtered, and optimized for engagement. Young people today are more connected than ever, yet often feel more isolated. They have more information than ever, yet are more uncertain about the truth or lie. Technology has enabled us to access information instantly. But a serious question remains: are we actually becoming wiser or simply more overwhelmed? As an architect by training, I recognize the unprecedented benefits these technologies have brought: better healthcare, education, material comfort, economic opportunity, democratic access, knowledge sharing. Within my lifetime, I have witnessed changes that few eras in history have seen so in such a short time. Yet at the same time, something paradoxical is happening. Surveys conducted by organizations such as Gallup show that today's young generation, popularly called Gen Z, is experiencing higher levels of anxiety, uncertainty, and pessimism about the future compared to earlier generation, including my generation. This is one of the great paradoxes of our time. On the one hand, we live in an age of extraordinary technological abundance. On the other, many young people feel uncertain about their future, uncertain about employment, about economic stability, about building families and meaningful lives. Part of this paradox lies in the very technologies we celebrate. The rapid advancement of AI, robotics, and automation is already transforming economies, labor markets, governance system, and even our political processes. While these technologies are bringing immense possibilities, they are also posing serious risks. As Nobel Prize winning economist Darren Acemoglu has warned, the current trajectory of AI development focuses heavily on automation and worker monitoring rather than what he calls machine usefulness. Machine usefulness means technologies that augment human capabilities rather than replace them. When automation simply replaces human labor, it can sideline workers, deepen inequality, and weaken the middle class. The result may be a widening gap between those who own the machines and those who used to work with them. Historian and public intellectual Yuval Noah Harari warns the emergence of what he calls a useless class. People who are economically redundant because machines perform their roles. If such a scenario emerges, it will not just be an economic problem. It will be social and political challenge affecting the entire generation, particularly the youth. Beyond job market and economy, another fear or possibility is that AI is reshaping political processes and discourses. In the words of the legal scholar Lawrence Lessig, algorithmic systems are increasingly hacking democracy. Hacking democracy. In my youth, the radio shaped our shared understanding of reality. Today, algorithms perform a similar role, but with a crucial difference. Social media platforms use recommendation systems designed to maximize engagement. Unfortunately, what drives engagement most effectively is often outrage, polarization, and extreme content. They have become the invisible editors of public discourse, deciding what billions of people see, what they feel angry about, and what they believe to be true. This dynamic contributes to polarization, populism, and mistrust, all of which threaten democratic institutions. Furthermore, these systems are reshaping human behavior. We are more connected than ever, yet we increasingly live in algorithmically curated echo chambers that reinforce our existing beliefs. We are not informed, we are more informed than ever, yet increasingly vulnerable to misinformation, manipulation, and deep fakes. During recent elections in Nepal, we witnessed some of these challenges firsthand. Election campaign increasingly moved from the street to the screen. Deep fakes, misinformation, and manipulated content circulated widely on social media platforms. These tools can confuse voters, distort public debate, and undermine trust in democratic process. Even more troubling is the emergence of what some scholars call the liar's dividend. Once deepfakes become widespread, any real evidence of wrongdoing can be dismissed as that video is fake. It was generated by AI. As I mentioned earlier, democracy depends on shared facts or information commons. When facts themselves become deniable, democracy begins to unravel. Another serious concern is the concentration of power in the digital world. The algorithms that shape global information flows are increasingly controlled by a small number of powerful technology corporations. These companies are not accountable to any electorate. Their incentives are primarily commercial rather than democratic. When governments attempt to regulate AI, they often find themselves negotiating with entities that possess greater financial and technological resources than many states. In such circumstances, the risk is that democracy slowly gives way to digital oligarchy. For developing countries, the risk may be even greater. Darren Smoglu has once again warned about the phenomena of data colonialism. This occurs when countries become dependent on AI systems developed elsewhere without developing their own technological sovereignty. If nations rely entirely on external systems, they lose the ability to shape how these technologies operate and whom they serve. However, South Asia is not merely a passive observer in this transformation. Our region is home to one of the largest youth populations in the world, and we are witnessing the rise of what could be called the first AI-native political generation. We have seen how youth mobilization through social media can influence political movements and democratic processes. But it is important to remember something crucial. Technology does not create aspiration for change, but people do. In Nepal, as in many other countries, young people demanded accountability, better governance, and greater participation in shaping their future. Social media provided them with tools to organize and express their aspirations. Young people are not merely passive consumers of algorithmic systems. They can also be active participants in shaping them. And this brings me to an important point. The future of AI is not predetermined. Any technology, whether it is AI or something else, does not develop in isolation. It evolves through political choices. How we regulate technology, economic incentives, how we design technology and social values, whose interest it serves. So, the real question is not whether AI will shape our future. The question is how we will shape AI. Perhaps we have to find a different path than the existing path where AI development is heading to. Economically, we can prioritize AI systems that complement human labor rather than replace it. Governments can reform tax policies so that automation doesn't receive greater incentives than human employment. In governance, we can develop public AI systems created under democratic oversight for public benefit. Open source AI models developed by public institutions could provide transparent and accountable alternatives to proprietary corporate algorithms. In election, we can introduce regulations requiring disclosure of AI-generated content, develop detection technologies, and strengthen digital literacy so that citizens can recognize manipulation. Artificial intelligence itself is not enemy of democracy. The real danger lies in concentrated power combined with powerful technology. If we democratize the development and deployment of AI, these technologies could actually strengthen democratic participation rather than weaken it. As I begin speaking about youth, I would like to offer a few thoughts for them. First, develop strong digital literacy. Understand how algorithms work. Learn to recognize deep fakes. Understand how social media shapes information flows. Technology should not remain a mysterious black box. Second, do not passively accept automation. Shape its term. If your data used to train AI systems, you should benefit from it. If automation increases productivity, the benefits should be shared across society. Third, be creators, not merely consumers of technology. In parts of South Asia, particularly in India, young innovators are already designing AI systems for public services, healthcare, and education. Young people across the region should engage in shaping technology so that it serves people rather than merely optimizing profits. In my lifetime, I have witnessed my village transform from a place without electricity into a society connected to the global digital economy. The same technology force that brought electricity, literacy, and healthcare to billions now hold immense power to reshape our future. The question is not whether we should go backward. That is neither possible nor desirable. The question is, can we build a future in which technology serves human dignity, where AI strengthens democracy rather than undermining it? South Asia's enormous youth population gives us a unique opportunity. If we invest in education, open knowledge, responsible governance, and regional collaboration, our region can play a leading role in shaping a more democratic digital future. South Asia already contributes significantly to the global technology ecosystem. Millions of South Asians work in digital economy, and many leaders of global technology companies come from this region. But the challenge is this: how can we use our knowledge and talent not merely to power global technological industries, but also to uplift our own societies? This requires leadership from young people. It requires leadership guided by right values. Recently in Nepal, the youth have made history. They have overthrown the incumbent government through street protests and subsequently swept the parliamentary elections. we all were watching with curious, cautious optimism. The ancient idea, Sarvajana Hitaya, Sarvajana Sukhaya, welfare for all, happiness for all, offers a powerful ethical foundation. Combined with the philosophy of scientific humanism, which integrates the inherent qualities of cooperation and competition inherent in human beings, and the moral principle of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is one family. These ideas remind us that science and technology must ultimately serve humanity. AI must not be guided only by economic competition or technological ambition. It must be guided by ethics, compassion, and collective responsibility. AI should not amplify the worst impulse of society. Instead, it should help advance shared well-being and human progress. South Asia, with its deep philosophical tradition emphasizing collective welfare, can play a unique role in guiding the development of AI towards these values. And therefore, I conclude with this simple thought: the future of AI is not destiny. It is a choice. And the choices we make today will determine whether AI becomes a force that strengthens democracy or weakens it, whether it creates opportunities for the youth or leaves them feeling economically useless, and whether it ultimately enhances human potential or diminishes it. Thank you so much.
Thank you to our guest of honor at NXT 2026 for your time, for your valuable words, and of course also for your positive message for the India-Nepal partnership ahead. We certainly hope for better and closer ties, as they always have been historically, with our neighbor. Okay, security protocols now are going to be coming into place, because we're going to be having the Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta ji in our midst a bit later on, of course, this morning. But to prepare, we have, of course, security protocols which will have to be followed and respected. After that, we will be resuming our next keynote addresses.